right, thank you, Eric. Well, we've got chicken strips, French fries, or a good South Dakota hamburger. All of those are classics on diner menus around the area. And now the Tri-State Museum wants to know what's on the menu. Well, joining us from the museum in Belle Fourche is Kristi Theilen. Good morning, Kristi. Now, this museum, or the museum and the new exhibit, is kind of, I guess, a part of something happening that you're working on right now. We've got a few menus laid out in front of us, but real quick, will you go over the exhibit, what's on the menu?
Yes, this is a mini exhibit, not one of the larger ones, but a mini, and it has storyboards, photos, artifacts, a take-home pack for kids, books for kids to read, and a touchscreen quiz. And the emphasis is on not cafes and restaurants currently in business, but vintage places.
Yes.
So we have received a few vintage menus from restaurants and cafes of years gone by.
Yes.
Well, we're looking to get more if we could, because it would be really great to have as many menus as we could have from places that people have very fond memories of.
Yeah, and what led you to kind of creating this exhibit at the Tri-State Museum?
Well, we try to do as many things as we can in a variety of ways. We thought about things that are nostalgic, because people like to come to museums to see things that are nostalgic. And food is such an integral part of everyone's life that eating at a restaurant or a cafe is often something that generates a lot of happy memories.
It really does, and I always feel like food is the easiest way to learn kind of about the area you're in.
It is. One of the things that I discovered as I started researching the storyboards, I write and research storyboards, is that menus are a wonderful way to assess the culture. They tell you about the technological times that the menu was created, what kind of foods are trendy. As you know, there are trends, and then there are trends that die, and all about the culture that the menu has arisen from.
And it looks like we've got a few here before we lose time. This one's called The Rendezvous. Now, do you know anything about this?
I really do not know a great deal about the Rendezvous. I do see from the back that it has a lot of businesses from years gone by in Belle Fourche.
Yes, so this was a Belle Fourche restaurant?
Yes,
Rendezvous?
and I believe that that is from the 60s and 70s. Don't look at the prices, you will just groan.
That's right. Well, should we? I was going to say 5 cents for coffee. I still hear about that. Soup, you got 15 cents.
Yeah.
This one's a Max's of Belle Fourche?
Max's was an upscale place.
Oh, okay. Was it downtown?
It was. And
this looks like a nice restaurant.
Yeah, I believe this is the
wow, these are.
Wow,
this is very. I don't know, vintage.
Very vintage.
Yes.
The typeface.
Yes.
There's another example of the kind of things that change.
And you know what? I've heard of this one. The
Belle Inn.
Yes.
It closed just a little while ago. Now, this is not a menu from its more recent time. I think this goes back to the 60s or 70s, and you can tell from the prices that prices have certainly gone up.
They sure have. Now, real quick, we've got just a little bit of time. If anyone has an old menu from an old restaurant, do they bring it to the Tri-State Museum?
We would love to have an old menu. Anything for a temporary exhibit like this is always returned to the owner, so it's not something we'd retain. If you could give it to us, we would send it back. But if you could bring it to us or mail it to us, we'd love to have it.
And we'll have all those details on our website. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.